Okay, so technology. I'm going to go ahead and read through this problem here. So, in this case, I thought I would give you one of the ones that I expect y'all to have issues with, a square root function. Now, don't freak out. It's not that bad. We're going to use a calculator anyway. Let's begin with the easy part. Of course, the denominator, just as we had done before. So, I'm going to get my purple x sub 2, which is 15. And remember, your formula states that you should subtract the x sub 1, which is 8. There we go. Now, of course, 15 minus 8, if you need to use a calculator, no judgment here. It's been a very long summer already. So, I could even use my fingers and count up. So 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. It's going to give me 7. All right, perfect. Now, the hard part is the numerator, top part, my outputs. So, I'm going to start off by writing K. And now, you'll notice that my input X, I have that in red parentheses. So I'm actually, anywhere I have a red X, I'm going to put an empty set of parentheses. So that means I'm going to say equals 3, and then that square root symbol. And I'm going to put an empty set of parentheses and close off my radical. You know what? I'm going to write it twice because I already know I have two inputs, the purple one and also the green one. Okay. So let's start with my 15, my x sub 2. All right, and that's also going to go in this set of parentheses right here. Now, I know what you're thinking. Holy cow, why? Now, if you are an Android user, you probably have used the app called Wabbit Emu. It's right here. Let me dim that down just a little, sorry. There we go. Now you can see it. It's right here. It looks like a little graphing calculator, and it has a bunny next to it, and it says Wabbit, as in W, Emu, like the bird. Now, what I like about this calculator is that it looks like our old school calculators that we used to have in the classroom. You may have had it in middle school, maybe. Probably not. I think you guys have had the brand new ones for a while. But I can do a lot more that I can't do in a regular calculator because in my regular calculator, it does not always give me a square root symbol. In this case, this one does. So we can use either or. So what I'm going to do is show you first on the Wabbit Emu. And I'm going to just literally type it in here. So 3 and then second squared. And it gives me a little radical. And I can put in my parentheses 15. Now, technically, I don't even need to use those parentheses. That's why I like using Wabbit Emu, because it understands exactly what I want it to do. Okay, there we go. Now, you could also use your regular calculator that you have, and I'm going to type in 3 and then my little square root symbol and 15. And you see it gives me 11.62. 11.62. There we go. Now, don't forget, you are always subtracting because that subtraction symbol, that's in my formula, okay? Now, I'm going to get my second input, which is my 8, my green 8, and I'm just going to plug it on in there. Okay. Oops. All right. So, I'm going to type it in again into my easier, bigger calculator at least, and I'm going to put ocho. Now, obviously, you could also put in your parentheses, just like I asked you to, but luckily the calculator understands what you're doing because we're just putting one number in right now. And, oh, there we go. And that'll give us 8.40, 9 technically, all right? Okay, now, the only reason I would suggest using this Wabbit emote is because, let's see here, so I'm going to type that in again here, make sure that I have the right answer. Okay, 8.49. All right, because whenever I subtract these, I've already been doing a lot of rounding, and I just want to make sure I get the right answer. So I'm going to type this in as 3 square root of 15, and then minus my 3 square root of 8. And it tells me that I should be getting a 3.13. And then I would divide that by 7, and it gives me 0.4476. There we go, and it keeps on going on forever. Now, whenever it comes to IXL, it does specifically state that I only need a decimal up to the 10th place. So that means only 1 decimal over. I would type in 0.4, and that's my final answer. Now, if you don't have this Wabbit emote that you can do all that work at once, obviously you would just take your 11.62 and subtract my 8.49. It's still going to get me my 3.13, and I divide it by 7. Now, in this case, my decimal is off just a little, because it actually gives me 0.4471, blah, 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 blah. Now, again, all you really care about is this right here, okay? Now, if this is a 5 or larger, that means you have to round this up. Now, because this is just a 4, that's why I told you guys that your answer is just 0.4. All right, now, that was our square root function, which, like I said, I was expecting you guys to freak out over. You get to use your calculator, so don't worry. If you need help using a calculator or doing any of these problems, you're getting stuck, and even the tips online through IXL are giving you issues, please contact me, and I will help you out. And the first thing we're going to do is go over some of these problems so I can make sure that you guys are getting through this just fine. All right, so in that case, I will see you guys on Wednesday.